Live from the virtual lounge in cyberspace, it's Beats and Eats. A happy hour for the mind, featuring the best in conversation and pop culture. Food, music, movies, comedy, you name it. And you'll never know who'll be dropping by to pay us a visit. And what would a show be without a host? Hey, we've got two, Ty Ray and Nick Gelso.
The virtual lounge is open. It's Ty Ray, Nick Gelso, another edition of Beats and Eats. And Nick, it is, a reunion episode.
Sure
Lydia
is.
Cornell joins us for the first time in how long?
Oh, my God.
2 years?
No, I don't know that long.
It can't be 2 years.
It's got to be about a year.
I'm the original co-founder, co-host with you guys.
You are. You are. So it only feels right at home with having Lydia on the mic with us, and it's fitting, Ty. But boy, it's been a rough year for celebrities and musicians.
Yeah, as we close 2016, it has been a tough year for beloved celebrity icons, and we thought it was a great time to have Lydia on because, of course, Lydia knows some of the people that have recently passed. And Lydia, first of all, let's talk about what's going on in your life. We'll get to the eulogies a little bit later. Let's talk about what's going on with you right now.
Well, I'm having an amazing time trying to take care of my parents out here in Lancaster, California, near Edwards Air Force Base, where I filmed Quantum Leap years ago. And I'm way out in the desert, far from home. But we had to temporarily move my mother in and out of hospitals all year. And my mother's 87. She's still alive, thank God, and so is my stepfather. And they're having a very funny case of dementia. I hate to say this, but I'm actually laughing my way through the days with them because they are very funny. They've forgotten everything.
Oh, God bless them. God bless them.
God bless them. I know that probably is kind of sacrilegious, but...
Never a dull moment, I bet.
You have never seen so many. The other day, I was lying by my mother's side. I was sleeping in the recliner chair next to her bed in the board and care where they're staying. And they have caregivers 24 hours a day, but they're in their own master suite. And so I was really tired. I came in from a trip. I was in New York for 3 weeks, and I came back, and I was sleeping in the recliner chair, and I pushed it too far over, and I flipped upside down. And I was stuck in the corner with my boots in the air, and my mother wakes up, and she goes, "Oh, did you get new boots?" She didn't even bother to say, "Hi."
When you're talking about something emotional like watching your parents get older, you have to have some sort of sense of humor, and I'm sure they'd want you to.
Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't believe the things coming out of their mouths. They're very funny. But
and you've got to have such incredible memories too, I'm sure.
Oh yes, it's been very interesting this year, and I've been watching people younger than me and younger than them die, and it's been horrifying. I've never seen anything like it since January. And since December 31st in 2015, Natalie Cole died, and then it started this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, what a talent. Yeah, what a talent. And so many have died this year. It has been an awful year as far as losing great ones. Prince, Glenn Fry, David Bowie. We could go on and on and on.
Muhammad
Ali, my goodness.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali. And
I don't want to say it in a affectionate way, but even some deviants like Fidel Castro.
Yes, absolutely. Names we all know have passed away in 2016.
Florence Henderson
out of the blue. I was just talking about her the other day. George Michael.
Right.
So many great ones. So many people that have been the
Nancy Reagan
to our lives. Or the soundtrack to our lives, or just people we've seen up on the big screen who we feel like are part of our lives because we've seen them so often. And it is a real sad year, and one year that I can't wait to get over with, quite frankly.
Guys,
I cannot wait to say goodbye to 2016.
Pat Harrington, David Bowie, Alan Rickman, Dan Haggerty, Glenn Fry, Abe Vigoda from The Godfather, George Gaines, Tony Burton, George Kennedy, Nancy Reagan, Robert Horton, Joe Santos, Ken Howard, Peter Brown, Gary Shandling, James Noble.
Gary Shandling was a good friend of mine for many years. We dated. Gary Marshall. Yeah, we dated.
Gary Marshall. Yeah, Patty Duke. Morley Schaefer. Well. Chekhov from Star Trek, the new Star Trek.
Right.
I'm trying to think. Castro, Florence Henderson. Yeah, I mean, it's just been Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh, unbelievable.
And most recently, of course, it won't be recent probably once this airs, but Carrie Fisher, beloved Carrie Fisher, dies at 60 years old. Of course, the daughter of Debbie Reynolds and the great singer Eddie Fisher. And what can you tell us about Carrie, Lydia?
I ran into her at recovery meetings. I guess I can say that out loud.
Right.
12-step meetings. She's been in my group since with Elizabeth Taylor and Faye Dunaway and Carrie Fisher in the very beginning of my sobriety. So I'm 22 years sober, and my son is 22, by the way, and he's coming back into my life, which is a miracle. He's sort of just graduated college and he's becoming an adult.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're playing Super
That's
Mario.
fantastic.
But anyway, I always loved Carrie Fisher because she was so witty.
Mm-hmm.
Postcards from the Edge made me howl. I love all her books. She is just hilarious, and she's learned how to turn her bipolar manic disorder into comedy, which is what I do. I turn tragedy into comedy when I'm writing. So she's one of my icons. And more than even from Star Wars, I love her writing. So I heard her, public speaking a lot, and
finally she's getting recognition for her writing and her script work and stuff outside of Star Wars. I mean, too bad that in death it's when those things get recognized, but nice to see her getting some recognition beyond being Princess Leia.
No, Postcards from the Edge came out
in
89, I think, or 87.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back with Meryl Streep and Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years. I hope it gets a second look.
So do I. It's such a funny, but the book itself is brilliant. Beyond.
It's kind of about her and her mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about her and her mom growing up in a family. You should read some of the reviews about the book.
Could you imagine that household?
Oh, my God.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh, my God. Right?
I love Debbie Reynolds, too. I do. She cracks me up. But could you imagine that house? That must have been something. Never a dull moment there, for sure.
Then how ironic George Michael passes away on Christmas with that great iconic Christmas Carol, Last Christmas. It was playing all day on Christmas Day, and then all of a sudden you turn on social media and bam, there it is. George Michael passes away, kind of mysteriously at first, but I think everybody has settled in to think that it probably was a heart attack due to.
Did you hear that he committed suicide? I hate to say that, but Bob Lefsetz put that out.
Oh, I hope not.
I had heard that. That's not confirmed, but I had heard that too, Lydia. I hope that isn't the case.
I hope not.
And then I heard last night heroin. He was using heroin.
Well, that I wouldn't be. He had drug problems. With the heroin epidemic the way it is, I wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
I wasn't aware of heroin though. I always thought he liked marijuana quite a bit. I mean, a lot.
Yeah, and coke. I think coke, pot, and alcohol.
Yeah.
The odds of dying on Christmas Eve.
Oh my goodness!
Are, at the age of 53, are infinitesimal. Unless you don't want to live anymore. That's
right.
And the other thing is, as I thought about this too, and Nick, you brought the song up, Last Christmas, how ironic. That song you heard all day long. It's one of my favorites, actually, from George Michael.
Well, have you gotten to look, and not to make jest of anybody passing, but have you gotten to look back at the video since he's passed?
I have not.
Oh, well, please do. It is the most latently homosexual video I think I have ever seen.
Really? I'll check that.
Oh my God! Like
Relax, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
This is pretty bad. I mean, like him and Andy or whoever that's the second guy's name, right? They're going on this. Yeah, they're going on this skiing trip, and women show up, and they just look so uncomfortable. Like, dude, you need to watch the video now, 30 years later, and say, how did we not know? Right. Right.
We didn't know.
Everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Just in the late 80s.
Well,
he hit it big.
After the bathroom episode, come on, the bathroom episode. And then he kind of came out saying that he's proud, he wasn't ashamed.
Good for him.
He said, I'm not ashamed of myself at all. And then someone tweeted something ridiculous the other day. I don't want to even repeat it. But you can Google it.
Right.
The magic of Google.
Yeah.
But his music,
and the horror of Twitter. Ty.
And
Twitter.
Exactly. I'm gonna shut mine down. But after everything that had gone on in his life, I didn't realize that he had done so much for charity and other people. I had heard a story where he overheard somebody like at a cafe talking about how in debt they were. He paid off their debt. He helped children. What a life.
Good guy. Good guy.
For all his faults, what an incredible life. What an incredible talent. And I was not a Wham fan. I don't know if you guys were a Wham or George Michael fan, but I started to sit down and look at the list of songs that.
It was pretty impressive.
Just incredible. Absolutely
Guilty feet
incredible.
have got no rhythm. Guilty feet. It's such a great word.
Yep.
Guilty feet have got no rhythm.
Yeah, what a great.
I was amazed that he didn't become a movie star. The man had such amazing looks when he was young.
And charisma, yep. But just never looked very comfortable, right?
No. He didn't look comfortable as a hetero.
No, not at all.
But he was gorgeous. I love
Yeah, good looking guy.
Saw him interviewed that. At least I don't recall seeing him interviewed that much.
Mm-mm.
No, he shied away from that. I mean, think about that.
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
I think that a lot of people are. There's my phone ringing.
Oh boy, is that like your theory alarm?
That was tea.
Yeah, it's tea ready.
That's my phone ring.
Lydia, that's so morbid. It sounds like
It's Outer Limits. Come on.
Oh my God.
We were in the hospital.
It is so perfect.
We were in the emergency room with my dad. And somebody heard that ring, and I go, "Hi, Mom," and they burst out laughing. All the people in the emergency room. They thought I programmed the ring to be Outer Limits.
Well, it's hilarious though because you said, "I have a theory," and then all of a sudden that goes off. I thought Ty was playing a sound effect. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, it's Twilight Zone. It's Outer Limits.
Right.
I have a theory that people decide to check out of this life here when they have too much heartache or stress. I mean, heartache, heart disease, people having sudden heart attacks. The last 3 celebrity deaths, Alan Thicke, George Michael, and Carrie Fisher, all heart-related. I think it's a lack of, it's kind of, when you get emotionally stressed and you have no love in your life, or you're not feeling the love, or you're angry and you have a lot of resentment toward maybe the election, hint, hint. It's like their heart hurts. And the heart is the seat of love. It's the organ of love. It really is the place where you hold the most love in your life. And if your heart is full of love, you're more likely to be healthy. I'm serious. It's an emotional thing.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
I think that's true. If you're stressed out all the time or upset, that's just
Angry.
not good on your body. And angry, not good on your body. But I never saw Alan Thicke angry ever.
No, I mean he even wanted.
Man in the world.
He even wanted to pay off your taxes. I mean, he was just so happy all the time.
I love him. I've known him forever. You know, he was the first when he first came to America from Canada. He invited me on his talk show, and I have to get this episode. I have it somewhere in storage.
Oh, it's got to be on YouTube. Yeah.
It was called Thick of the Night.
Yeah, of course.
So funny. And he interviewed me. We also did a sketch comedy together. We played Nick Danger, Private Eye. And I got to be the femme fatale. And then Arsenio Hall was there. He was the first person who did the green room thing where you do a guerrilla camera that kind of wafts through the celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it was backstage at Metro Media where my show is also being filmed at the same time. So Too Close for Comfort was on the same lot. We were just across the street from each other. He was funny and cute back then, you know?
What I always liked about Alan, at least on TV, is he seemed genuine. He seemed just like a great person you would want to hang out with. And we had the pleasure of interviewing Jay Underwood, who was in The Boy Who Could Fly. This was, in the 80s. And he worked with Alan on a movie, I believe it was called Not Quite Human, back in the 80s. And he said Alan was just the kindest and dearest man. Jay, of course, was a teen star back then, so Alan was much older. But Jay confirmed what I always thought, which was that Alan was just a genuine, nice man. Good-looking man. God, too bad his son is ugly, huh?
Oh, my God. They're so good. But there is a secret that I think, I have a feeling I know why everyone in showbiz has there's a darkness in showbiz people when they're yearning to be bigger than they are. It's like that Trump effect. You're wanting to be something you haven't quite achieved that dream all the way yet. And Alan's secret wish was to be a great songwriter, and he'd written 300 jingles. He wrote The Facts of Life. He wrote Different Strokes.
Right, The Facts of Life. Yeah.
But
Those are great songs.
They are.
But in Canada, he had written lots of hit songs. And he couldn't get them out here in America as much, and that was his secret passion. And I was also with him for a long time, many years in between all this. We were hanging out at all these tennis tournaments in Maui, Sonny Bono. Several times I went with the John Wayne kids. Marissa Wayne was having a relationship with Alan Thicke at the time. And we all hung out in Maui together. And he kind of wanted to be, maybe break into movies. You know how we all want to be where we're not. We're not quite where we want to be yet. Even Steven Spielberg wasn't quite where he wanted to be yet. There's a secret wannabe yearning in this town. And it's a town of broken dreams. I just have the feeling that if you've had unfulfilled dreams, sometimes you have a little heartache that's hidden. Maybe I'm being over analytical.
No, I think there's some truth to that. I can see that.
But I can't explain it. I mean,
right. And I think you make a good point too. I mean, let's think about it. So he's on one of the top sitcoms of the 80s in Growing Pains.
Mm-hmm.
Wrote the song.
Wrote those hit songs. And then after that, wasn't quite as successful.
He was on game shows too, wasn't he? Wasn't he on game shows?
Yeah.
I don't know if he was on game shows. I think he wanted to get a major talk.
Did he host one?
I thought he hosted one.
That was Bert Convy.
No, let's see. I think
are we going to bring up Tattle?
Oh my God!
The green shag rug.
Here we go again. The giggles whenever Lydia's on. We get the giggles.
I don't know why. You mentioned Bert Convy, and my mind went to Tattletales immediately.
And I was on that show with Shirley Jones and Monty Nichols. I was on the premiere episode. So embarrassing.
He was on. He was the host of game shows. He did Animal Crack-Ups, Pictionary, and
that's right.
All New Three's a Crowd. Hosted the All New.
The All New? Was there an old one?
I didn't. I thought Three's a Crowd was Jack Tripper and when he got married.
Wait, what do you mean? On that series? He was on Three's a Crowd?
No, it says he hosted the All New Three's a Crowd game show. Never heard of the original.
The first one.
Yeah.
Listen, think about it. He wanted to become a talk show host or a game show host, and it didn't happen. So you never know. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. I ran into him at lots of celebrity tournaments. For actors, it's really hard to get something else going, a second act going. And
right.
Kids to support and wives to support. You know.
And Lydia, I think you can talk about this too when you have an iconic character like Dr. Seaver was.
Right.
It's hard to bust out of that. Let's talk about that when we come back from break.
Yeah, let's talk when we come back from break, because also you could throw Carrie Fisher right into that as well.
Absolutely.
Right, and Tony Danza, by the way, have another.
Let's pay the bills, Ty. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. Nick and Ty will be right back with more Beats and Eats.
Today's episode is being powered by Blue Apron. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. Blue Apron has become the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. With December upon us, it's now the holiday season, and Blue Apron makes the perfect holiday gift. Research shows that Blue Apron families cook together 3 times more often. This creates strong family bonds and actually saves money. Those who spend a lot at restaurants know it's super expensive. High-end grocery chains, fast food restaurants, buying for the whole family can become absorbent. With Blue Apron, you can spend under $10 per meal. In December, my personal menu will include braised cabbage with barley and glazed apples, Thai green coconut curry with sweet potato and jasmine rice, brown butter and chestnut gnocchi with Brussels sprouts and pea shoot salad. And all that for just $10 per meal. Sound amazing? Well, today we are offering listeners 3 free meals and free shipping. There's no risk involved, and you will love how good it feels and tastes to create home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. Treat yourself or a loved one this holiday season to Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Go to blueapron.com/beatsandeats to redeem your 3 free meals and free shipping today.
Hi, Joyce DeWitt here, and I just had the most incredible conversation with Ty and Nick from Beats and Eats. Y'all should tune into these guys. They ask amazing questions and give a fabulous interview, and they give the person they're interviewing a chance to say things they'd really like to say. So Beats and Eats, Ty and Nick. I'm glad I did it. So should you.
So, Lydia, tell me about being a star and having a great character on a show like Alan Thicke was on Growing Pains, and then trying to break that mold. Once people see you in a certain light, it's got to be so challenging to show people that you're capable of doing other things.
Well, I was just mentioning Tony Danza, who really couldn't get arrested after his second big hit TV series. He wanted to do movies, and the transition was almost impossible. I don't know why. I think in my era, it was almost impossible to break into movies after being in TV, especially as a sitcom actress. I played a dumb blonde. I had to literally either do a rape scene or do a extremities like Farrah Fawcett did. She played in The Burning Bed, and she did extremities on Broadway, and then she had to take off all her clothes and look battered and beat up, and then they finally took her seriously.
Yeah, I remember that.
Charlize Theron, she had to play the part in Monster and become a serial killer and gain 100 pounds.
She's so good in that too.
Yeah, but she had to go all that far away from being beautiful to be taken seriously and get an Academy Award nomination.
So Lydia, how did you finally just say to like casting agents, I'm not going to be in a bikini. That's it. I'm done. How did you do that?
Well, in my case, it was different. I've been morphing myself into a writer. Like Carrie Fisher, she said, you cannot stay young forever in this industry. They're going to throw you away when you hit 39 or 40. For women, they throw you away a lot earlier. And I became a writer. I've always been a secret writer. I turn every tragedy into comedy. So I've written this book, Hiding My Brain in My Bra, and I've written another whole TV series. We're pitching it right now. It's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm. We just pitched John Cryer recently. So I've been writing my own work, my own stuff, which will all be coming out soon. It took a while because I had to take care of my parents. But you have to go deep inside yourself and pull out your other gifts, because your business will throw you away, and especially women. As I watched this Trump election, I realized it wasn't just me. Women are thrown away so much quicker than men. There are very few women that are really working, or that are great beauties that have a second act. Like Jessica Lange got one, but she's in American Horror Story.
Right.
Playing a really amped up, horrifying version of her beautiful self.
Meryl Streep, right? She's the exception.
She's the exception, but she was never a sex symbol or a great. She didn't start out as a great beauty. She was a character actress all along. Sophie,
right?
And she went to Juilliard or Yale, and she made her career. You can do it if you're British. I've noticed Judi Dench.
Right? Helen Mirren. And Helen Mirren, to her credit, this was a woman that was a sex symbol in her 20s, and she had to bust out of that.
But in America,
it's much tougher, right?
And they love British people. In America, the casting directors will cast you if you have a British accent or Australian accent. But they don't love American women who were sitcom stars. Jennifer Aniston, during Friends, they allowed her to make the transition because she's a huge star. She was so funny in Friends. And in that era, the Friends era broke the mold. They were allowed to move into movies. So now we have to sort of write our own parts, and it's been really hard. And it's hard to sustain your happiness, your joy, your faith in yourself. It really is hard. But if you really enrich your inner life, and you realize showbiz is hollow, and it's not the be all and the end all, and you cannot bank on it as being the definition of your soul, you can make it happen. I mean, I've actually written comedy, and now John Lovitz and I were talking, and he goes, get on the road, do comedy. It's phenomenal. He's making a fortune now touring America. And all these little towns, they love you because now I sold out an entire 200 tables at the Elks Lodge because they go, oh my God, we want to see Lydia Cornell. Too close for comfort. And they're huge fans. And I'm like, well, stand-up comedy's fun, but I'm actually going to be doing this back on TV again. Right? My comedy will now be on television again as a writer.
Lydia, it's almost fashionable now for movie stars to transition back to television, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Television has become like mini films.
Because the movie industry has now morphed into just huge tentpole productions like Avengers and Star Trek.
Right, and Marvel. Right.
Yeah, they have no more room for regular adult funny, witty.
I think that the writers is probably the problem. They're just not writing good films anymore. So we're just reinventing the wheel.
There's no money in distribution for regular moviegoers. I can't figure it out. I think that the only the blockbusters are guaranteed financial success in movie theaters, so they just won't make movies that are small Sundance films that will fill the theaters anymore. And so
It's a
now it's
shame.
gone back to Netflix. Netflix is the new movie studio.
I'll tell you what, it's phenomenal. Thank God for Netflix and Amazon Prime. Because that's all I watch.
What's your favorite show?
Oh my God. Right now I'm watching Man in the High Castle just because it came out just last week. But it's slow. It's not, and it's on Amazon. It's not one of those programs that you could watch when you're tired. You need to be awake because you can't fall asleep. You'll miss it. But I'd say my all-time favorite, that transition to Netflix would be Breaking Bad. I mean, how could you not love Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
And as far as the originals go, The Crown was awesome. Did you watch The Crown?
House of Cards. Oh, The
House
Crown.
of Cards.
Yeah.
The Crown. Did you watch The Crown? It was phenomenal.
No, not yet.
Oh, it was really, really good. And of course, House of Cards is fantastic. That'll be coming out next month in February.
Oh, I can't wait. I watch it so quickly, though.
I know. I'll watch it in a weekend.
Yeah.
And it stresses you out, right? A good Netflix binge watch, you leave it stressed out.
Totally. But Arrested Development, I started with binge watching that a few years ago with my son, all 56 episodes over one Christmas,
Right.
And though we were obsessed with the comedies, and then Parks and Rec and 30 Rock, and catching up on all the comedies we missed.
Right.
You didn't get to watch them all during the year. They're pretty funny.
They are.
Gilmore Girls. I never knew how great it was till now.
Yeah. But even regular television, I watch it like Netflix because I never watch anything when it's on TV. I DVR it.
Right. Yeah.
I DVR the nightly news, for crying out loud. It's ridiculous. Like, I'll watch it at 9 at night. I DVR. My DVR is constantly overflowing because I go DVR crazy where I'm like, I might like that, record.
Yeah.
And then I never watch it.
Yeah, that's funny. So there's a really cute review. There's a really funny review of Wishful Drinking. That was Carrie Fisher's HBO special, and it was a Broadway play. Did you ever see it?
I haven't.
It describes her book, Wishful Drinking. It says here, there are more juicy confessions and outrageously funny observations packed in these honest pages than most celebrity bios twice the length. After describing how she underwent electroshock therapy for her manic depression, Fisher then sorts through her life as her memories return. She predicts, but by the end of the book, you'll feel so close to me that you'll want to divorce me. At one point, this daughter of Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher, one an icon, the other an arm piece to icons, hilariously diagrams her family tree of Hollywood marriages and remarriages to make sure her daughter's potential date is not a relative.
Oh my God, that is too funny.
Yeah.
Eddie Fisher married Liz Taylor, right? After.
Yeah, and then Connie Stevens.
Right.
So
yeah,
Fisher. Yeah, they're all.
Even watching her on, like Larry King, they're showing snippets of watching her on interviews. Even she was so self-deprecating and honest. Like there was no barrier.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I love.
You got to admire that. You have to admire that.
Humility. But she's trying to compete with a mom that's so glamorous. How do you grow up in it? With your mother being such a superstar. That's
Brutal.
why it's important that.
And a strong personality too.
Yeah. So her big tool was comedy. You have to make fun of yourself or you die. I mean, how do you? A lot of kids just can't live in the shadow of a superstar like that.
I gotta say, I don't know if it was the day before Christmas Eve when that report broke. She had the heart attack on the plane. I thought, this is just as this woman is getting back, embracing the Princess Leia character and having a role within the franchise, she's going to pass away. And then my mom said, nah, she probably would have died on the plane, which is, I thought to be true. But,
wow.
Yeah, horrible. Almost as if she gave George Michael his day and then she passed away the next day,
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Golly. Yeah. They each deserve their day.
Yep. Agreed.
Like on Farrah Fawcett's day that she died, didn't someone else famous die the same day? Was it Michael Jackson or something?
I think so. And
Ed McMahon, wasn't it?
Ed McMahon. It might have been.
No, I think it was Ed McMahon.
Lydia, did you know Ed McMahon? Of course, you had to.
Yes, but not too well. I mean,
No.
I,
Did you know Robin Leach? Where's Robin Leach these days?
I did Lifestyle.
Yeah, Lifestyles of Rich and Famous.
It was like the original reality show, wasn't
It was.
That show was so 80s.
Oh,
God.
so Donald Trump, not to bring him up. But everything was gold and
Trump was
glitz.
on that show, yeah.
Oh, about 20 times, I think.
Yeah, it's very true.
I think Donald Trump brags he never had a drink, but on that episode of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, isn't he drinking champagne? I'm pretty sure he is.
Not only that. So, not to get into this, but didn't he do some Playboy videos in the?
Oh yes,
like,
yes, interviews. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. There's like whiskey,
a drink or two. So, Lydia, did you ever get to meet the Trump Meister?
Good question. You did?
I have a horror story, and I cannot repeat it, and I've been trying to tell people, but I can't.
He did not grab your...
Well, we could make news here. Hold on.
I know. Wait a minute. Please, Lydia, tell us.
Lydia, please. Absolutely.
I can't.
We need a big break.
Give us the PG version.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't about me, but I do know Donald. I've met him, and I can't describe. But
he's your president now, Lydia. He's your president.
Not yet.
Not yet. There's still another 3 weeks to overturn it.
Okay. Listen.
Tell us a story.
A lot of Trump supporters who have asked me who actually thank me for not becoming hateful, and they keep saying thank you, and I feel like I owe them at least some restraint of tongue and pen at this point, because I really went off on people in the beginning of this election, and I was just horrified and grief-stricken and bumping into furniture like a zombie the night of we went to a victory party with all these comedians tonight, and Hillary's victory party, and we all felt like we were shell-shocked and literally bumping into walls at the end of the evening. So it's taken a while to get over this liberal grief, but anyway, it was in Monte Carlo in the early 90s. I was twice in Monte Carlo for the huge Princess Grace Foundation, Prince Albert, Sean Connery, Prince Renier. I was there, flown in first class to Monte Carlo to play tennis with Ava Gabor and Merv Griffin and Kathy Lee Gifford.
Holy cow.
Pat Riley, Coach
Wow.
Harry Belafonte Jr. Yeah. Huge stars were there, really funny stars. And Sean Connery and Micheline were at the banquet with Prince Renier, and I was standing there, Sean Connery winking at me and Micheline kicking him in the shins.
And Donald Trump come over and grabbed your...
Ivana Trump was there going through her divorce.
Oh.
And the horror story she told me made me so petrified of the man to this day that I've never been able to look him in the eyes, and I have to turn the TV off. You will not believe, and I can never repeat it. But she was crying and drinking and telling this horror story to us.
Oh boy!
At the nightclub Jimmy's while she was.
Oh, I want to know what it is.
And I'll have to tell you off.
Okay, all right. I'll take that.
Isn't there, because of their settlement, their divorce settlement, the revelations are sealed? I'm positive, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Same thing with Marla Maples, I think.
But it's worse.
You're right.
It's worse than what she even slightly said in those depositions.
Wow.
And I just, I know the word psychopath is not used lightly, but it's sometimes appropriate.
Wow.
And please erase this. Listen, I'm friends with a lot of my...
Sure.
My close world is one of Trump's biggest champions, and she went to Nevada to campaign for him, and we're best friends. And I babysat for the kids she's taking care of at the time, so I promote. I want everyone to feel free to vote for whom they want.
Right, of course.
With proper information.
Which you have. Which you have, but won't share. I'm teasing you.
I might get in trouble. In real trouble.
No. We don't want that.
You had mentioned Gabor. We forgot Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Yeah, Zsa Zsa.
No, Zsa Zsa just died. Can you believe?
And she was the original Kardashian.
Right. Yes, she was.
Living in Beverly Hills when she slapped the cop when she had her encounter at Rite Aid.
She slapped the cop. Got arrested. You think they would have been like, yeah, Zsa Zsa, slap me again. I wouldn't have arrested her. Come on. That accent. Darling, slap. What was she doing did they accuse her of shoplifting? I can't remember why she slapped him.
Something like that. I Google things. I might make noises like.
That's okay. Do it. We do it all the time. Are you kidding me? The Twilight Zone just went off on your phone. Now you're worried about clicking the keyboard? Go for it. This is what I love when Lydia's on, because really Beats and Eats just turns into a three-way phone conversation, right, Ty?
It's just a stream of consciousness on all of our parts.
and it's some of my Lydia, you are like the Joan Rivers of Beats and Eats, because you have broken the record for guest appearances like Joan did on the Tonight Show. And so, I must say some of our favorite episodes are just giggling with you. We don't even say anything. We're just giggling.
Well, I used to have my own show on your channel.
We need to get that back. Lydia, when you're ready, we have call lines for you and everything. You can go live.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd love to do it. I'm just been out here.
When you're ready.
I have really strong Wi-Fi till the past month.
I know, you sound great now. And
I don't get it all the time, though. I travel a lot. I go back to LA, and I'm living in Playa Vista most of the time, right by the beach. Playa del Rey.
Oh, God, I'm going to be out in LA in March.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. I'm covering the Lakers and the Clippers game. So I'll email you the dates.
I'm Googling Zsa Zsa Gabor slapped a cop. Let me just see.
I want to hear some Laker stories.
Oh, she was she was courtside at the Fabulous Forum, and it was fabulous.
I'm good friends with Diane Cannon.
Oh.
And Jack Nicholson. I've been to his house several times. Let me think. Well, I'm a member of a thing called Sports Entertainment Commission, and we host Laker parties on the actual basketball court with the whole Sports Entertainment Commission. It's really cool because it's called Lakers 101 or Basketball 101, and you play with Lakers. It's you should come.
Were you ever in the Forum Club?
Yes, I was going to ask that, Nick.
It was like Studio 54 of basketball.
Yes, I have definitely been there a few times. Yeah.
When Magic was on the team, think about that.
They're like the secret rooms and.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, Nick, I had a dream the other night. I was actually
that you were in the Forum Club.
No.
No.
At 5'6", I wouldn't fit in.
The Lakers had the Forum Club, which sounds so Studio 54, and the Celtics had the Boards and Blades Club. It sounded like in the rec room, right?
Not quite as enticing.
No, it was like a smoking room in the old garden, the Boards and Blades Club. So, Ty, you were in the Fabulous Forum Club, and what were you doing there? Just make it up. Just make it up.
No, they had a height restriction there. I wasn't allowed.
You came up to Kareem's waist.
That was like Tom Hanks, little kid in Big. I couldn't
Big.
I was saying that I actually had a dream about Studio 54. Don't ask.
What was it? I don't want to know what was going on there.
I don't know.
What? What was your dream? Oh my gosh, I've been there many times.
Oh, okay. There you go. Forget my dream. We got to know this. We have to hear a Studio 54 story.
Well, there was a lot going on in the bathroom. Let me put it that way.
I bet.
There was no such thing as a separate women's room from a men's room. There was like major lines of cocaine put out on the It was wild. I mean, I remember I just got back from New York, and do I miss New York, living there. Oh my God, it was so much fun. I went to my high school reunion. I went to Scarsdale High, so I ran into all these wonderful people that I never knew very well.
I love that city. I love the food. Nick, I know you're not a fan.
Notice how quiet I am.
I just think it's great. I just love the vibe of the city, and I know it gets this knock for being rude. I never felt that at all. I've always found the people very warm, just very outgoing, to say the least.
God, I'll tell you, I just think New Yorkers are more friendly than any place on earth, and they're more. Actually, though, my first time in New York City when I was in high school, I was walking through the city at the age of 15, and a man looked at me and he smiled and said hi, and I ignored him, and he chased me and he said, "You're not going to look me in the eye, you bitch." and it
Ooh.
came right into my face, and I thought, oh my God, I was taught not to like look at strangers and say hi.
Welcome to New York.
Yeah. So that was one bad thing, but after that, I just love New York. I think the people are friendlier. After Too Close for Comfort was big, everywhere I would go, they would go, hi Sarah, hi Sarah. They knew my character name from TV.
Would that get on your nerves?
No, it's really exciting because I was a brand new
Recognized.
star, and I never knew that they were everybody was watching our show, you know?
Well, then, of course, you had the great Rockin' New Year's with Dick Clark, right? You were on that.
Exactly. That was right.
That's right.
We taped it a month before. We taped it prior to Christmas Eve. And it was in Thanksgiving. And then I was out at the Plaza Hotel, and I walked past the coat check girl, and she goes, hi, Sarah. And I was like, oh.
How old were you then, Lydia? Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I was a little older than 19. I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah. So what a rush.
Yeah, it was a rush. It was totally new.
No pun intended.
We were like a number one show. Oh, I didn't even get the joke.
I did.
Yeah.
So tell me, we're moving away from Studio 54. We've got to come back. We've got to circle back around. I need a good Studio 54 story. So did you meet Steve Rebell?
Yes, I did meet Steve Rebell.
Oh, wow.
You gotta tell us what that was like.
He was debauched. He was
I don't say.
Listen, the passage of drug use was kind of rampant in those days, so a lot of my memories tainted.
Why was that place so popular? People could have done those things anywhere. They just chose to do it collectively.
Wow.
54.
Because it was open till 4 a.m, and we escaped from the trains in Scarsdale to get to Studio 54, at all hours of the night. You could say it was the one big club. There was another one. What was that one called? It looked like a cathedral.
Remember the Limelight?
The Limelight, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one. Boy, you're quiet. Yeah.
I'm taking it all in. I can listen to Studio 54 stories all night long.
Nick, we had always wanted to do a Studio
54
episode of Beats and Eats. And we just never were able to pull that one.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, but I think it would be just a blast. There's something about it. Maybe it's just larger than it really was, but
oh, I don't know, Ty. They had a big Coke spoon hanging on the wall. I think it was pretty in your face.
It was really decadent. And we were there at 4 a.m. I remember it being the one place you could party all night and dance like a maniac on the floor. And I did see Bianca Jagger there, and I did see Andy Warhol there. And
wow.
Steve Rebell, though, it was kind of like he was surrounded by too many celebs. You couldn't get near him.
Was Carrie Fisher there? Did you ever see Carrie Fisher? I'm just curious.
Interesting.
No?
I'd have been in that crowd with the Andy Warhol crowd at one point. No, I didn't.
Because she had a relationship. Wasn't she married to Paul Simon briefly?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I saw them once in New York City together, though, somewhere. It might have been.
All I could think of was poor Paul, because he's so like mild and little, and Carrie Fisher is so over the top, or was so over the top. Yeah. She just had to overpower poor Paul Simon.
Did it surprise both of you when Carrie Fisher came out and said that she had a fling with Harrison Ford during?
No, it didn't surprise me. It surprised you, Lydia?
Yeah. How did he react? Did he come out publicly?
He didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't reacted to it.
Okay, I may be overly analytical, but I have a really strange sixth sense that this may have contributed to a bit of her heartache. That when she came out on the book tour, she had to admit all these kind of sleazy things, and I think book publishers make you do that.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote about it, but she knew it was going to cause a ruckus. But I don't think it's the classiest thing to do. I don't know. I feel like it may have been.
And isn't Harrison Ford? He's extremely private.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I seen him interviewed.
No.
Oh, he's brutal. Oh, him and De Niro. They're the two most painful interviews. But at least Harrison Ford is stoned. De Niro is sober, and he's so that awkward. Dry.
It's
awkward.
So friggin' awkward.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah.
I still think that she may have sat well with. I don't know. Did you watch her in all the talk shows promoting her book?
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Was she shame-free? I mean, was she really not embarrassed by that? Because I have a million funny celebrity stories, and I'm still embarrassed to even talk about them. And my book will have them in there, but they're not the tone of the book. The book is about how I embarrass myself in front of people. It's
Right.
the worst things I did in front of Jack Nicholson.
Lydia, do you look back on your days when you were drinking and go, what was I thinking? Or were you just too young? Do you give yourself a pass because you were so young?
Yeah, but in our day, it was when I listened to Carrie Fisher and I think of the 80s, when I first got to LA, there were people passing cocaine at Carlos and Charlie's right across the table. And I just saw my boyfriend.
Right.
He took me to Alice Cooper concert recently. We went to see Alice Cooper backstage. He managed Alice Cooper, Shep Gordon, and my boyfriend was David Liebert. And he managed the Go-Go's, Cherry Curry and the Runaways, and Leonard Skinner and Alice Cooper. So we were friends with all these people when I first came to Hollywood. And everybody did coke in public. And we drank...
In public?
In public, right across the table at the restaurant. Little brown cocaine. And it was nothing in the 80s. It was like common... It was something everyone did in LA. So, and then there was this huge turnaround when we all got sober. It seemed like everyone started going to Starbucks. Literally within 10 years. All the alcoholics.
Howard Schultz benefited because people got off of cocaine.
So, but I remember being in Scarsdale High School and there were just people were passing white crosses and Tylenols and Reds and Percocet. There was just all these pills.
Unbelievable.
Do you remember those days? You didn't go through them. Anyway, there was
silence.
I was around drugs. I just didn't do them.
But I don't remember.
I did them.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding. I have no problem admitting it.
I'm 22 years sober, and I wouldn't dream of even someone.
No, my nose
the other day, and
my nose would fall off like Michael Jackson. My nose would just fall right off. It's just not. I'm past that age.
Right. But you'd have to drink a gallon of vodka to come down off the coke. And I remember those days. They're not good days, actually.
Nick, you know what scared the hell out of me about coke? I'm certainly not a snob, and I've had my day of fun. Was the death of Len Bias.
Len Bias, yeah, that was
a great athlete. Can do drugs in one night and just die.
Oh, God.
Right. He got a coke batch.
He wasn't a coke addict, and he did coke one night, and that was it.
The night of his getting drafted, or
crap out of me.
Wow. Yeah, of course. It happens to a lot of people.
Not Lydia and I. We kept snorting. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I just sort of let people entertain
I'm
me.
teasing. Sure. All in good fun. In good fun.
But Studio 54, Lydia, we got to get you back on, and we're going to do an episode on Studio 54. And do you have anybody around you that went to Studio 54 that would agree to come on and just talk about those times? That would be fun. And we don't have to talk about drugs. We just talk about pop culture back then. And I would love to know what it was like to stand in line. Not you did, with all those people raising their hands wanting to get behind the velvet rope.
Well, Lydia, it's kind of funny or interesting to ask, what was it like to walk past everybody standing in line like you probably did and get right to the front? That had to be killer.
Oh. Well, we were just cute girls back then. I wasn't well known yet. I mean, I wasn't on TV. It was earlier than that. So.
But you were Lydia Cornell. I mean, you were hot. You're hot. You don't wait in line.
Well, actually, you're right. It was easier when you were a pretty girl. Absolutely, the velvet ropes opened very quickly. We didn't have to struggle. It's like Sex and the City, the TV show. It was very similar. That felt like I was reliving those days when those women went out to clubs with the velvet ropes.
Right.
Who did I go with her? My best friend, I just saw her in New York. She has memories of that place more than I do.
Oh, that's great.
We went together.
How many nights a week did you go out?
Well, I wasn't allowed to. My parents wouldn't even allow me to date before I was in college. So I had to sneak out. I had a beard. I had a gay friend named Monroe.
Not Jim J.
Not Tim J. Bullock.
Original Monroe was my best friend in high school, and we would go out. I would say, "Mom, go out with Monroe," and then I would be with other people. We had to use each other as an excuse to go do what we needed to do. And
but when you hit it, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. But I was still a virgin in high school. Anyway,
oh my God. Oh my God, when you hit it big, I mean, like, so too close for comfort's out there. You're number one, and how many nights a week did you go out then?
Oh, and Too Close for Comfort Day? Well,
Yeah.
oddly, my first experiment, the night I got the show, I went out in a limousine for 3 days with Jim Bullock and Truett Bell, a fan of ours, who ended up being my fiance. I moved in with him 3 days later. So we were out for 3 nights, binge whatevering.
Binge.
Just binge.
And then Ted Knight called on the phone, right? The car phone.
And you shuddered.
Oh, Lydia.
Shuddered.
Go to bed.
I moved in with my fiance. I got engaged almost immediately the first year of the show. 3 days after I met this guy, we moved in together. It had been
Oh my God.
Binge, you know. out there, but you know. So I Jim Bullock introduced me to him. Truett Bell. My fiance for 6 years.
And where is he now?
He's from Louisville, Kentucky, and he lives his father was the mayor of a small town in Morganfield, Kentucky, and they owned corn and soybean farms, and he's still back there, I think. He got married again. He got married finally.
We need to call him.
I had a very strange breakup with him.
I'm kidding. We need to wrap this up. We wanted to keep it under an hour. It's been great fun, and I'm glad we were kind of ending the show on a fun note, because it was kind of depressing in the beginning, talking about all of the deaths from I almost said 1916, 1916, 2000.
Talk about Gary Shandling. I have more.
I know.
Oh,
the Larry Sanders Show. It was so great that HBO played his episodes all over again.
Gary had a company called How's My Hair. Every time I'd see him, he'd go, "How's my hair? How's my hair?"
And he did have iconic hair, very thick head of hair.
His checkbook said "How's My Hair Productions."
Did it really?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time. Oh, I love Gary. Oh my God, I have a lot of stories about Gary, but we'll do that next time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's save some of the good stuff for the next show. Like I said, I want to talk a little bit about Studio 54. Nick, what's on your mind for next show?
Well, let's not wait until another 15 celebrities die to get Lydia on the phone. Let's get this back into a regular rotation, because there's never short on topics.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
Lydia,
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
And before we let you go, Lydia, where can we find you online? It is time to wrap up. Yeah. Where can we find you online?
LydiaCornell.com. LYDIACORNELL.
And Nick?
I'm at CLNS_Nick.
And I'm at Coog88.
Coog88. That's it. And it's tricky, Ty.
It is tricky. It's beat the letter and eats. And with that, Lydia,
the lounge is closed.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
The virtual lounge is now closed. For Beats and Eats, I'm your bartender. Until next week, stay cool.